Well, welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Tanner O'Brien. I'm a senior partner here at Action Coach in Central Texas. Today, I'm sitting down with Eric Weynand, who is the founder of PlotPath Finance. Excited to be jumping in, having some conversation about business, probably a little bit about finance, and all the fun stuff that comes with entrepreneurship and getting into building a business here. So, Eric, I just want to say first off, thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited. Why don't we just start with a little bit of background? Give us the we'll call it the 10,000-foot view of kind of what your background is, like what led you on this path. And then, of course, tell us a little bit about what does PlotPath Finance do?
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Tanner, for having me. I really appreciate it. Love to have these kind of conversations about the business, and hopefully it's helpful to anybody out there in the wide world of business. So, yeah. So the 10,000-foot view is I founded PlotPath in 2015. Right at the end of 2015, and so it's been working on this for a little over 8 years at this point. And that was after a career in finance and accounting, and kind of expand the boundaries of that to bookkeeping and business intelligence. So the genesis actually was that I was leaving the country, and I was interested in finding something that I could do remotely, serving businesses and clients in the U.S. from abroad. And so that
Mm.
was really the extra little push there. And my my vision was to create a company that provided outsourced finance and accounting to small businesses. Um, Essentially, what I had been doing in my career for businesses of all sizes, from solopreneurs to Fortune 500s, and then just before founding PlotPath, I had been the finance director of a $2 million business that was venture capital funded. And I in-housed a lot of the finance and accounting, bookkeeping, and business intelligence, and was kind of responsible for everything from the basic bookkeeping up to the quarterly board reporting to the investors. And the the light bulb kind of went off there and said, every $2 million business needs this. None of them get there. Very few of them figure it out and get it right. I said, I should prosify this and create it as a service for all those $2 million businesses. And so that was the genesis that kicked it off. Prior to that $2 million firm, I was a finance director. Just before that, I was in business intelligence at Dell in the North American consumer and small business region. So I had P&L controllership, business intelligence. Before that, I had been at Ernst & Young in auditing in Manhattan, and fund of funds, hedge fund industry, due diligence and accounting in New York as well. And so all of that career kind of led me to with that background, able to build something that could serve businesses like this.
Very cool. So, what got you into the finance path in general? Was like, is that kind of always the path that you wanted to get on? Did you kind of stumble across it at some point in your life and go, man, I actually just really love the numbers and I want to get into this piece. But what was your catalyst into the industry overall?
It's really something I've been trying to get away from my entire life, but just keep coming back to it. And so, really, I mean, one of those nerds in school that just love numbers, like math, and that was my thing. So here I am in my what was that? My freshman or sophomore year in my accounting 101 class in high school, and I was just leaps and bounds above everybody else. And so the teacher would sit me by myself in my desk, and I would study for the state competition. And so I went and competed and finished 12th in the state in accounting of all of the accounting high school students out there. And so that was the beginning of this whole career in accounting, right? And then I went on to University of Texas and was in the professional program in accounting, got a bachelor's in business and a master's in accounting over a 5-year period. and then off to Ernst & Young to do auditing of banks and hedge funds in New York. And so that was the launching pad. There, I actually said, I'm going to get out of this accounting thing. And I went back to school and I did a master's in international affairs at Johns Hopkins School for Advanced International Studies. 1 year in Bologna, Italy, 1 year in Washington, D.C. I have this obsession for traveling and learning about the rest of the world and cultures. And so that was my attempt to get away from accounting. But then I found myself in Uruguay, actually, where I did an internship during my master's degree. And I found myself consulting with and helping entrepreneurs from a finance, accounting, and operational perspective. And so here I am getting sucked back in. And why? Because I love working with those businesses and those business owners. Like I said, anywhere from solopreneur. At PlotPath, we typically serve clients that are $1 to $10 million in annual revenue. But anywhere from, in my career and even at PlotPath, we serve smaller than that. I just love, enlightening those business owners with what accounting and finance should be, helping them make sense out of their business, really understand the financial performance of their business. And so I just keep getting sucked back in, and here I am. I got sucked back into it after that international affairs degree, and I really relished that opportunity to serve those business owners and use all of this experience and background to help them run better businesses and ultimately lead better lives and help the world.
Oh man, I love that, and I love the journey there. And I'm excited to dive a little bit into a little bit more on kind of what makes your business so special and the things that you do. Because you said a few things in there. I'm like, huh. So you mean in small business, it's not just about getting the P&L and maybe nothing else, and hoping or calling that getting good financials. So I'm excited to kind of dive in there. But before we kind of jump into that path, I always like to kind of set the stage, kind of understand kind of where you're at, being 8 years into, building this business so far. What is your role in the business? So you've got the title of founder. What roles or kind of which hats do you play within your business as you continue to grow PlotPath?
So we're still a pretty small business, but we do have 17 team members. And all but just a couple of those are full-time W-2 employees. So we're a little bit grown up and from that perspective, but we're still very small and flat, not very hierarchical. So I still wear a lot of hats. I'm the CEO and I'm the head of business development, sales, and marketing, right? So that's a hat that I wear entirely on my own with Andrea back here, poor thing, having to listen and do the conversation, doing sales operations support and marketing support. And then I have so those are my primary responsibilities, right? Overseeing the entire business, vision, strategy, sales, marketing, and business development. Of course, I'm still heavily involved in operations and our own finance and accounting, but I have members of the leadership team who are, have primary responsibility for those things.
Beautiful. So, as a business of your size and knowing the things that you've kind of shared with, what you do in the business so far, do you have, your CFO or kind of controller or whomever's responsible for finances for you send a weekly or a monthly report on the financials and then kind of build a CEO report and send it off to your board, even if that might just be you? Do you go that far within your own business?
I do actually. It's not as fine-tuned as I would like it to be, but it's actually something that we're working on, right? It's one of those situations like I try to apply the same finance and accounting principles internally that we do for all of our clients. So for all of our clients, we finalize the month's close. We issue at a minimum 2 documents, which are standardized, right? The financial KPIs and the financial statements reporting package. One is a beautiful graphical vision of how the business is doing. Internally, we're trying to implement the same thing. And it's actually, as I've gotten myself out of the CFO role, right, and handed that off to the accountant who's responsible for that, she's owning that process now. And actually, this quarter, she's got 6 days left to complete her quarterly ROC, which is part of the whole EOS system, which I'm sure you've heard of. One of those is that to improve, finalize, implement that really standardized monthly reporting process. But us, like any business, it's going to evolve over time, right? It's always going to change. And
Mm.
so, but that's the challenge, to get it standardized, abide by that as much as possible, and then just adapt as the business needs change, and therefore the reporting needs change.
Mm. I love that so much. And I bring it up because I want to dive into, why what you do is so important, especially for small businesses. I'll share with you. I think it was a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now. We had a coach that really pushed us and forced us to kind of start doing our level of reporting. We actually have to send weekly reports out from every department that goes up to the CEO. CEO sends in, a CEO report out to, the rest of the board, and actually had to create, weekly forecast on cash, a whole bunch of stuff that we had not been doing before. And I tell you, it was a game changer for our business because you could actually see what's happening and be able to make decisions and all that kind of stuff. So when you work with businesses, especially for some of the businesses that maybe come in and don't understand kind of the power of everything that y'all can do, how would you articulate the importance of it from your context on having accurate and timely financials to just really understanding that reporting structure and things like that for these smaller businesses that probably most of them haven't gotten to that point of understanding the power behind it.
Yeah. So one thing is that most of the potential the businesses that come to us looking for what we do, it's because they're experiencing that pain. Um, and so to a certain extent, there's not a ton of convincing that we have to do for them. Um, we, 90+% of our clients, and we have over 100, about 110 of them right now, come to us via referral, right? Referral from our existing clients, referral from what we call channel partners, which are, your tax CPAs, lawyers, your business coaches. We have a lot of business coaches who are telling their clients, get your finance and accounting and your financial reporting act together. And they're looking at it and it's a mess, go talk to Eric at PlotPath. And so most of them are coming to us with this as a real pain point. And a lot of times they've tried to solve it on numerous occasions over the years of running a business, and they can't ever quite get there. It's like what I talked about before, to that $2 million business that never gets it. They hire the wrong people, or they don't have the right, they don't know how to manage those people. And so there's not a lot of convincing there. Once we understand their needs and show them what we do and how we do it, they're ready, and because those people are ready to get that financial reporting right. But what you said is really relevant, especially for those smaller businesses that are still doing what I jokingly call bank account business management, right? They're running this business, they're doing a million things, right? Sales and marketing, operations, like HR, everything that has to be done, and they're running as fast as they can do that. And how do they know how the business is doing? Because they look at their bank account and they say, I got a lot of money or don't have a lot of money. Or they're looking at, I owe this to my contractors or my payroll, and am I going to be able to make payroll or not? So that's bank account business management. Um, that is a very stressful existence, right? As a business and as a person, right? Like you said, weekly cash flow projections that like changed your business. It's like knowing how the business is doing, with timely and accurate financial reporting. And I always like to add the word useful, right? Because you can have timely and accurate reporting, but if your tax CPA does it, for example, it's not going to be useful to you, right? It's going to be useful to them to file your 1120 or your 1040 or whatever it is, your
Hmm.
1065, but it's not going to be useful to you. And so we're very focused on timely, accurate, and useful. You as the business owner making sense out of how your business is performing, get your P&L, balance sheet, and all the other reporting to reflect that. So, you got to, those smaller business owners that are still doing that bank account business management, they need to recognize that as things get complex, they will thank themselves if they focus on the finance side of things, right? The finance and accounting aspect of managing their business, and get to that point where they have that timely, accurate, and useful financial reporting. And it'll be such a relief to not be wondering all the time, can I make payroll, or this question about, what should I do with the money I have or don't have. I always talk about, okay, when you're doing bank account business or management, you are reliant on one number at one point in time in your bank account to decide if you should hire or fire, right? Or
Mhm.
invest, spend, or cut expenses. And that's completely inadequate, as you know. You got to get to that point where you're managing your business by the numbers, right? So I'm running my business at a minimum by a P&L and a balance sheet. And then ideally, I've got a whole bunch of supplementary reporting that peels the layers of the onion back and tells me, okay, well, that's what the P&L and balance sheet is telling me. It's a signal that things are going well or not, or certain areas are going well or not. Now I got to peel the onion back a little bit, right? What's my gross profit by line of business or channel, or what's my margin by client or project, right? Or I need to have a weekly or twice a month cash flow projection to ensure that the cash, my net working capital, right, which is my cash plus my AR less my credit cards and AP, is adequate to cover my future expected spend, right, which is my overhead, my operating expenditures. Payroll is a big one for most service businesses, but any other expenses as well. So, I mean, I don't know how to convince those people that they need to get there. Usually they experience that pain and they suffer. We've had a lot of second time entrepreneurs, second time business owners. There's nothing more gratifying to me when they come to us and they say, hey, I'm setting up this business and I want you guys here from day one, right? Because they came to us when it was 5 years into their other business and stressful, and like we got everything worked out, and they say, I need that from day one so I know how the business is performing. So if you could, if you're a small business owner and you're trying to run and grow this business, if you could take that cue from other business owners who put that importance on finance accounting, get that whole financial operations and reporting figured out, it's ultimately going to help you stabilize the business and make better decisions. They're going to help you grow the business in the long run.
It's so fascinating to me that, and I would say we've probably seen a lot of the same thing where it's almost like you have to experience what it's like to have this change and have these optics and things like that to really kind of grasp the importance of it.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's like, I think I can manage, I think I can manage, I think I can manage until it's just like too much of a pain. So, hearing that, second time founders, second time business owners, things like that, are coming back and saying, let's just get this set up from the beginning because it makes
Yeah.
that much of a difference. Totally makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really cool stuff. So you mentioned referrals is a big piece for your business. I always like to ask just a few questions around marketing, especially in different service-based businesses, things like that. Hear what's working, hear what's not. So referrals is a big channel for you. Anything else that you've tried that either has worked really well, or kind of some areas you're like, yeah, here's some lessons that we learned along the way in trying to figure out marketing for our business. But any kind of top learnings or lessons from marketing and building your business?
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about our experiences. I don't know how great they are for learnings and lessons because I'm definitely not a marketer, and but we have tried a number of things. And really our most important marketing tool is the our results, what we deliver as a service. And that's just not me like trying to market that. Like that's just reality. And it's because we really focus on delivering on our promise, right? Delivering on the value that we're promising to our prospective clients. We don't have any like long-term contracts or anything. Like everybody, engages us, and then it's just like a month to month, 30-day notice kind of thing to give us a little bit of heads up. Um, so we're not locking anybody in. So really every single month, every single day, week, we're having to deliver value to our clients and prove that. And so that's where we focus so much of our attention. So we started 8 years ago, and it was Eric for $75 an hour, right? And that was everything. That was your bookkeeper, your controller, your CFO, but always the vision to build a team, right? And now we have a team of analysts, bookkeepers, controllers, and CFOs who we, match to our clients and deliver that service. And how have we grown from that to 110 clients? Is we don't lose a lot of clients. You know, people stay, like many of our clients have been PlotPath clients since 2015, 2016. I'm amazed when I get on their cloud storage reporting that we have, and I'm looking at their financial statements folder, and I'm like, well, that thing goes back to 2015. Like I just get this sense of gratification from that. Like that's amazing, like some of our oldest clients. And so we don't lose a lot of clients. We don't churn a lot of clients. It's not a marketing churn and burn kind of operation. It's like slow, deliberate. And so really all of that work has generated the referral engine, you know? So all of this good work has kept clients, you know, here, and we continue to add value and adapt to their needs. And then when they know somebody that needs what we offer, we're the first person they think of, obviously. And so they refer us business. And the same applies to those referral partners, like the channel partners. We had some share clients initially, and we realized we work well together, and then they start referring us clients. And so that's how that whole referral network has grown. I need to be a better marketer and a business development person, and work more closely with those referral partners, right? To keep us top of mind. It's like one of those things that I'm always trying to get better at, but that's the number one thing that works for a business like ours. It's not high volume, 50 new clients a month kind of thing. So that's the reality. We've done some other things like content marketing. It's all on our blog, a monthly newsletter, uh, 2 social posts a week across 4 different platforms. And so we have a marketing content partner who basically manages all that for us. And so that's worked over the years. We've done different things. It's worked to a greater or lesser extent. And really, in my mind, it's more about just demonstrating that we're alive and present, that we have a pulse versus actually generating a lot of leads. That's my reality. Obviously, like the social media marketers probably going to tell me, well, call me. I'm going to like generate a lot of leads for you. But our reality is more about just having a pulse. We do have one content piece that's all about the chart of accounts and a template and a structure for it that I wrote, and it was a labor of love in 2016, shortly after I founded this business, because it really is what drives your financial reporting. It's the backbone. That thing is like a top 10 Google search result, or it's been on like page 1, page 2 over the years. And that actually has generated a number of leads and turn into business, right? And then those turn into clients, and then they become, they refer us business. So that has actually worked. But in my case, as far as content pieces, it was really only that one content piece that was, like I said, a labor of love. It was like all of my knowledge and passion about the chart of accounts and related reporting dimensions and why it matters to business owners that generate a lot of leads. So I guess really the learning from that might be write more content pieces like that and less of the clickbait, that you pay somebody else to write. Other than that, we do LinkedIn engagement, and we're B2B. So reaching out to people on LinkedIn through connection requesting, and following up and sharing content has been effective for us. We have a partner that helps us in that business. It's called RevGrow. It's a peer business, and they do a great job of that for us. I should shout out to our marketing content provider as well, Full Stadium. They're fantastic. And so that's worked to a certain extent, and RevGrow actually manages cold email for us as well. And so that's driven some leads and has been effective. We've really only been trying that for the last year or so, and it has created some leads and new business. So that's the experience. Those are all the things that we've tried. Again, it's all where we are today as a business. It's really all about the referral, and these other little avenues bring in a few more leads that some turn into clients.
I love it. I love just that focus on really the relationship side of things. And I have to imagine that some of the content pieces that you are doing are likely playing some role in creating some credibility for those that are being referred and things like that. But
Yeah.
building and developing the relationship with your current clientele, with potential referral partners. It's amazing to see how impactful and powerful that can be, especially when you've got really strong retention. So that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. That's the goal. Is really just those referral partners that we treat so well being our clients themselves, and then our referral partners who really have shared clients a lot of times. That's the engine that drives the business. But like you said, all of that content out there, it builds that credibility. There's a lot of people who do great things, but it's really like a one person show, and they refer you, but then you go to their site or try to find out more about them, and you can't, and they might be great, but you don't have any way to validate that, right? Like,
Yeah.
You want that validation. And another thing we focus on is on Google reviews. We need to do more of that, but we've got, I can't remember how many it is now, but a number of five-star Google reviews from real clients. And so again, it's that credibility, it's that validation. Hey, you referred PlotPath and Eric to me. I'm going to kick the tires a little bit before I waste my time with a phone call. And then they go out, they get that credibility from those content pieces and our Google reviews, and then they're comfortable working with us at that point.
Yeah. So where do you see things go in the next 3 to 5 years? As you look to continue to grow the business, what does the business look like as you grow it, and how does your role change within the business as it grows?
We don't have any dramatic growth plans, because we don't have any outside funding. We're not beholden to anybody to achieve certain growth metrics or anything like that. So, we'll target, 25 to 35% growth, year over year here in the next few years, and just continuing to scale the business under the existing model is what we're trying to achieve. As we do that, and we're at 100 plus clients now, we'll grow to 150, 200, and so everybody's role in the organization will change. My role will change, and like we were talking about, the different hats that we're wearing. So that's what I'm focused on right now, is building the leadership team, handing off the accountability to them for certain areas. And so that's going to be my focus. So everything doesn't come back to me. I can rely on them to make decisions, and I can focus on certain aspects of the business while know that the other aspects like operations, HR, our own finance and accounting is being taken care of.
Very cool. I love that. Well, I know we've covered a tremendous amount of ground. I want to be kind of respectful of the time that we have here today. So I got a few rapid fire questions, just to kind of bring out some, we'll call them wisdom nuggets for the audience. But
Okay.
as you look, your entire journey so far, from getting into the finance world to the careers that you had previous and starting this business back in 2015, what would you say for you has been kind of your key to success? Any kind of traits, routines, things that just kind of are about you personally that you believe allowed you to become successful?
Uh, I'm gonna say that it's really relationships with other people, and really respecting other people that I work with. Um, it's one of our core values is authentic kindness, and it might sound cliche or kind of cheesy, but we really like live it and breathe it every day. And it helps us with client retention and team retention. I'm so focused on our team and are they happy, and because I know if they are, then our clients are going to be happy because they're well taken care of. So it might be kind of weird for an finance or accounting kind of person to say, but really it is all about, every single day I'm interacting, engaging with our clients and our team, and I'm just doing my best to be authentically kind, transparent, respect them, respect that relationship, because I know in the medium and long term, that's going to pay huge dividends.
Hmm. I love that. How about advice? If you could give advice to other business owners out there, especially those that have been in business for a little while, maybe kind of, think of the types of clients that you tend to work with. If you could give those clients, one piece of advice from your experience, building and growing a business yourself, what piece of advice would you want to give them?
I guess from my experience, the one thing I would that I see trip business owners up, um, more often than anything else, is really sometimes they're too focused on trying to build the business of 10 years from now or of 20 years from now. And there's nothing wrong with having vision and foresight. You need that as you build your business, 100%. And you don't want to be entirely focused on solving today or tomorrow's problem, right? But in my mind, it's important that business owners get that timeline right, and they need to be trying to build that business that's 12 months or 24 months down the road. And why do I say that? Because when I see them trying to build the business 5 years from now, which is exciting, and hey, I'm going to be whatever, $20 million, I'm going to have 50 people, all that kind of stuff. they to go from where they are today to that, they get hung up in what CRM am I going to use, and what like payroll benefits provider and all these big company questions that just slow them down, and they're not, it's not a good use of their time, and so they get all caught up in that, and they spin their wheels on that, and they waste a ton of time, and they're not solving a whole bunch of other issues that they need to solve, which is going to get them through the next 12 to 24 months, so they can eventually become that business they want to be 5 to 10 years from now.
Hmm. I really like that. That's a really cool piece of advice. Um, book recommendations. So, any book recommendations, something that you've been reading recently. It does not have to be business if you don't want it to be.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you prefer, podcast, video, anything else that you kind of consume content on, you're welcome to kind of interpret as you'd like here. But anything that you would recommend for the audience.
So I'm gonna have to go with The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And so if you haven't read that, I highly recommend it. It is not a business book. I read a bunch of business books, right? I went to business school and read a bunch of those, but more recently, I try to read a whole bunch of non-business things because my whole life is business. And the Power of Now, like for a lot of people, for me, it was transformative, and it just helps you see the world a little bit differently, and try to make the most of every moment.
Beautiful. We'll do one more rapid fire question here, and this one's just kind of fun. If you could choose one area in your business, and that's the key, you only get to choose one spot in the business where you take a little bit of magic dust and you could sprinkle it all over that one spot. Wake up tomorrow, it's 10 times better than it is today. Where would you choose to put that magic dust?
I'd put it on the sales and marketing, maybe because that's the area that I'm focused on right now and that I'm the weakest on, right? As the accountant that build this business. And we do lots of really fun, interesting things there. And I love the way we do it, but there's so many pieces of the puzzle that I just want to make work perfectly and just, you know, make it spectacular. So if I had a little bit of magic dust just to make all that happen, that would be wonderful.
It's a good place to put it. I love that.
Mhm.
So for the audience, if they want to learn a little bit more, if they want to connect with you, kind of follow the work that y'all are up to, want to learn more and potentially do some business with you, especially for those business owners out there that don't have super strong financial, controls and everything in place yet, where could we advise them to go for more information?
All the usual places. So plotpath.com. So plotpath.com. And you can connect with us there. We're of course on all the usual social networks, and you can find us there. LinkedIn, uh, X, Facebook, and Instagram. You can book a consultation from our website. You can email us from there, and we'll be in touch. And when we do the free consultation thing, it's me, and we'll have a conversation. There's nothing more I like more than just talking to business owners, hearing about their problems, and giving them real transparent feedback, not a sales pitch, but about what they need to do to solve their finance and accounting problems. And if that involves PlotPath, great, we're here to help. If not, they're not a good fit today. They'll go off, do their thing, and then come back when they are ready for our help.
Beautiful. I will make sure to put all of that in the video description below. So for those that are watching, make sure once you wrap up the conversation here, go down, click the links, check out everything on the website. Jump over to LinkedIn, say, send a direct message over to Eric, say, hey, saw you on the Business Spotlight. Great conversation. Seriously, if you're in business and you don't have strong kind of financial things in place yet, and that's kind of a to-do item for you, highly encourage go at least send some of those questions over to Eric and start that conversation. I know in our business it was very, very powerful. So if it's something that I can recommend here, I will highly recommend it just from personal experiences in the financial side of things. So with that, Eric, I always like to end on one final question, which is simply, what is most inspiring to you today?
Uh, what inspires me most is that aspect of enlightening our business owner clients today. I've got three little kids, 4, 8, and 10, that are growing up in this chaotic world that's changing really fast. Um, and there's a lot going on in the big picture in the media and globally, but I'm inspired every day by these 100+ clients that we help run better businesses so that they can do, lead better lives and do more for them and their families and more for the world. So every day I get to help out those business owners. It's such a gratifying and inspiring experience.
Beautiful. I love it. Eric, thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure. I know that had we had, 2 hours of time, we could really sit here and dive into some financial stuff and have some fun. But I appreciate you sharing a little bit about your experience, your journey through here, and giving us a kind of a peek into what you all do. And it's been a lot of fun. So thank you.
Awesome, Tanner. Thanks for having me. Yeah, and I hope everybody gets the chance to jump on the website and dig into some of the details of what we do and how we do it, because I do love talking about that. So
Amazing.